Hey everyone, it is such a stunning day today. A really beautiful, warm sunshine meeting a very kind of fresh wind that is rolling in from the west that has got a bit of kind of fresh bite to it. So it's just beautiful, it's stunning. I never ever get tired of that view. So I'm up at the lake and in between some consultations today and some admin, I wanted to share a couple of short stories with you. So first one, last night I was consulting for a really wonderful lady who, with her, because this was a Skype consultation, with her, sitting with her, was a most amazing translator. So this lady was translating from English into Polish. Going years back, I've had the privilege to consult for this lovely lady who was translating. She'd done the most amazing job. But here's the story. So made the connection, began the consultation and kind of working away, and I looked at this lady who I was consulting for, and I just kind of felt this almost this chuckle on the other side of life and this kind of laughter. And I looked at this lady and I was thinking, I just got this real clear impression that she was sitting there thinking to herself, how is this possible? How is this possible but that this guy is delivering messages from my grandmother and my father who never spoke a word of English? I just got this real clear impression as I looked at her. I kind of made real kind of strong eye contact, and that's the impression I've got. And we were about, I don't know, probably about 10 minutes into the consultation. A lot of what was being said really kind of hit home with her, and it was beginning to help her understand where she was, why she was where she was, and also understand importantly herself in a kind of deeper and clearer way. And that's at the heart of what we do. So we were kind of in there a little way, and then that impression come, and it really did make me laugh. So I turned around to the lady that was translating and I said, you know, I said, this is what she thinks. She's sitting there thinking to herself, how is all this possible? Because my father and my grandmother never spoke a word of English. So she laughed. The translator laughed, translated, and the lady just shook her head. She shook her head in disbelief and looked at me and laughed and smiled, and then kind of said to lady translating, yeah, absolutely, I was just thinking that. Now here's the thing, this is a question that I've had for such a long time, and one that I've been asked, and one that I've turned to, you know, and said, you know, how does this work? How is this working? How is this possible? And the thing is, what I've come to really understand, what I've come to really believe, is that the language of spirit, the language of the innate, is absolutely pure emotion. It is pure feeling. And you kind of think about that, you know, pure feeling, pure emotion is actually universal. You know, if you kind of think of love, you know, the expression is universal, it's beyond language, and that is exactly how spirit communicate with us. They almost kind of tap into your own experiences and begin to move that emotion, begin to stir it up to begin to deliver the information. I always say that all information is information. So I thought that was a beautiful beautiful story to share with you all. So, you know, sometimes, you know, people say to me, how can I understand my loved ones if they're trying to communicate with me, if they're trying to reach out to me? I've asked them many times, how do I know that they're talking to me? Is quite often, you know, sometimes you'll have a feeling arise or a thought drop into your awareness, and it may seem randomly, as if it's happened in the most kind of unexpected or random way. And my feeling is maybe, just possibly, that is the innate talking to you, that is spirit talking to you, that is your loved ones kind of communicating, and within that it's almost like it's sealed with a feeling, with an emotion. You know, all information is information, and it's just kind of, you know, slowing down enough to kind of be really aware of what you are feeling, what you are thinking, what is kind of moving through you. So the other story I want to share, or kind of the other thoughts that I want to share with you all, is when is enough enough? You know, I had someone say to me this week, when am I going to change this? And I looked at them and I took a big deep breath, because I could feel that deep breath within themselves as they said it to me. And I took this big deep breath and I went, you know, sometimes we only ever make change when enough is enough. But what we want to try to always do is kind of grow and learn from those kind of situations, those patterns sometimes that we kind of follow, we drop into, you know, and quite often, unfortunately, we often make change when enough's enough. And another way of looking at it is sometimes we make the most biggest and the most kind of profoundest changes always when we're ready, but often when a desire and a need for peace becomes greater than the situation itself. And that's when the most profoundest changes come, because quite often at that level it is hitting us so hard that an absolute desire for peace becomes greater than the situation that we're in. And quite often we absolutely change on a very fundamental level at that point, which means that normally we're not the same person the other side of that experience that went into it, and normally we can never kind of go back to a situation similar. You know, there's patterns that run through our lives, and there may be a kind of theme and there may be a version, but all the time there's something that's kind of raising an awareness. And some of the things that, you know, the conversations that I have with my deeper self, if you like, in the innate, is that you know, every day I'm trying to check in and say to myself, you know, have I, you know, kind of aligned myself, and my actions, are they in alignment with who I want to become? You know, if I'm doing the same thing every day, how's that going to stack up? What does that look like in the future? Am I supporting everything I'm doing to become the best version of myself? And I think they're very important questions, you know. And am I being kind to myself? Is this healthy? Where I am, is it healthy? You know, is kind of really kind of explore those very honest questions. And I think that, you know, holding ourselves gently accountable is a very, very healthy place to be. I'm not saying that it's the easiest place to be, far from it. And you know, we still, you know, I still are taking the journey, you know. I'm still kind of growing, evolving, developing, you know, all of the time. It never ever ends, you know. You don't find enlightenment, you know. You're always evolving and growing. And I think, you know, one of the biggest things that holds us from making those profound changes is often fear, you know. Is fear can absolutely hold you prisoner. But we got to kind of look and break down, what is it that we are fearing the most? Are we fearing the uncertainty of the future? Are we fearing how it's going to seem, or what other people think? You know, what we've got to do is kind of break down that fear and absolutely recognise that quite often it holds us prisoner, and sometimes we're just waiting for the situation to change for us, but quite often that isn't the case. And when it is the case, normally that happens in the most traumatic ways, you know, because over time everything's trying to send you a very, very clear message. This situation needs changing, you know, it needs addressing, it needs our attention. So there we go, guys. A few thoughts, a few stories to share. You know, so it's about kind of asking those very important questions to ourselves, and gently trying to find the courage, okay, the courage to be honest with ourselves, because I think in the core of it and the depth of it, we really do know many of our answers, but it's having the courage then to act on those answers. So there you go, guys. Enjoy the day. I'm going to shortly be heading back to get changed, get cleaned up, and to begin consulting for the afternoon. But have a wonderful day. See you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye bye.